My name is Izabelle Schoepke. I'm a first-year teacher at Henry Sinatchwine High School. So I was a very good student. I loved school. I would be the kind of kid, not the kind of kid that would fake getting sick to get out of school, but if I was sick, I would beg my mom to let me still go to school. So I was a very type A child. I still am type A. I'm sure my mom has stories of me teaching to my stuffed animals. But it wasn't a dream my whole life to be a teacher. In high school, I was very convinced that I was going to be an aerospace engineer for NASA, which clearly did not happen. The interest I always kept coming back to was books and reading. And so then at that point, it just kind of made sense of what's the one thing where you can read every day and talk about books every day? I guess you could be a librarian, but I wasn't interested in that. Is being a teacher. And I grew up in a really small rural school. I went to Midland High School. And that experience made me realize just how much of a resource teachers themselves are to underprivileged schools.
So when she student taught with me, obviously she taught my English classes. Then she also was qualified to teach family and consumer sciences. And so this year, that's what her majority of her classes have been. As a first year teacher, it's a lot when you're especially the only teacher in the building that teaches those classes. So I have watched her build a curriculum completely on her own, and she has done a great job. She's got kids that want to take the class because they enjoyed the introductory class so much. I've seen her have ideas and bring them to fruition, and it's really fun to watch.
I can't say enough about the job Izabelle's done this year. Family and consumer science is hands-on, so that gives us another opportunity to offer a hands-on class, which a lot of our kids need these days. She's done a great job, and we're lucky to have her.
You look at the respect of the profession. Teachers are respected. You see that in Illinois. There has been a lot of work over the last few years. How do we fill this shortage? What are things that we can do to help improve the profession, increase individuals to jump in?
In high school, I just was very appreciative to my teachers because I realized how much they were pouring into the school and how many of the school's resources came from them directly. And I wanted to be that for someone else, which is cheesy, and that's usually the answer that people have for why they wanted to teach. Teaching has been my main focus and my main dream and drive for so many years, I don't know what else I would do.
Didn't it seem like she had some of the first year struggles that sometimes teachers can have? She kind of already established a classroom routine with the students right off the bat. And so I had told her that for a first year teacher, I thought she had excellent control of her classroom. The amount of time and details that she was putting in, I was just pleasantly surprised by. And so I always try to remind her of that for a first year teacher, you're doing amazing.
She had the kids write a journal, and she brought in all of these shoes, just one of each pair. And the kids had to pick one of the shoes and write a story from what the person would be like who would wear that shoe. The kids wrote, and then the kids talked, and the kids weren't talking to my replacement. They were talking to their teacher in that moment. She got such good responses that I was like, yep, totally stealing that next year. And I did do it this year.
Like many professions, everybody's looking for good candidates, but teaching's different. It's a passion. It's about working with kids and feeling something special at the end of the day. You've accomplished something, you've helped change a life.
Maybe some people have a different experience where when they got to teaching, they realized this isn't for me, but for me, it was the other way of when I got to teaching, I was like, oh, so it is what I thought it was gonna be. And it's not so wrapped up in are your lesson plans 5 pages long? Because in reality, you don't write lesson plans. You just go with whatever is happening during the day. And that's the part that I cared about. And that's the part that was my dream.
I was looking for a job. I was working at one place where my kids did not like where I was working. And I happened to run into, at that time, a principal who was the principal of Central School, Peg Reagan. I met her downtown. And she saw me and was talking to me. She asked me, was I looking for a job? I told her, yes, I was. So she told me what I had to do. I did that, and the rest is history. I'm still here. My name is Miriam Tillman. I am a paraprofessional here at Central Elementary School, Intermediate School. I have been in this position for 33 years. and I love every moment of it.
You hear about people who are just born to be educators, and Miriam is one of those people. She can be a lot of fun. She's a hoot at times, but she can also be very firm when she needs to be. The kids all know Miss Tillman don't play, and she doesn't. And that's the thing that I appreciate about her in my room, is that she can be firm and fair and fun all at the same time.
I just stay calm and go with the flow.
She will do anything for anybody to be of assistance. She's fabulous with our students. She has a way of working with them that gets even those most reluctant, students to do something, to be productive. She has a way of talking to them that just they get and they respond to it. And she's not a sugarcoating kind of lady. She tells the kids how it is, and I think they kind of appreciate that. And she has high expectations for the kids, and I appreciate that as an educator, and I know that a lot of the people in this building and this district appreciate that too.
I don't know what I could say. It's a personal thing. You have to like children. You have to like the kids. You have to be willing to go that extra mile for some of them. So with those things in mind, you have to know how to love kids, being around kids, be consistent, be fair, and have patience.
So when you look at a classroom, it's just not the teacher, it's everybody. It's the bus driver, the cook, the secretary. Everybody's working together, and that's what's important. So it's great to have people that you can grow and just add to the culture of your building.
They say when you're ready to retire, you're gonna know it. I haven't gotten to that point yet, and when I do it, I'm gonna say it quietly. And I just want to just ease right on out and take all the memories with me.
I will shout it from the rooftops for her because, she's amazing. She's, over 30 years in education. God bless her.
Some people dread because they have to go to work, and I think she enjoys coming to work and being with the kids and being with the friends and just having a good time. Miriam likes to have a good time, and you can see that as she interacts with colleagues and kids both alike.
Because at the time that you end this, you don't really know whose life you're touching. You don't really know how it's going to affect them down the road. And yes, I've seen a lot of my past students come through here and see me on the street and go, oh, I know who this is. And they give me a hug and we talk about the thing, Miss Tillman, you did this, you did. That really makes me feel good. That makes me I feel like I've really done and brought a difference to somebody's life, because you don't know whose lives you touch.
I grew up here in north of Seneca, Illinois on a family farm. Parents raised my older brother and myself and my younger sister. My dad at the time farmed with his two brothers. When I was growing up, I was the youngest of 5 grandsons, so I knew there was not a place for me on the farm, but I still wanted to be involved in agriculture. And I had some opportunities to work at a local bank, at the First Midwest Bank in the farm department, and I really liked that. And so I decided I could go on to college in agriculture finance and agriculture business. Hello, I'm Jeff Meyerhofer, Seneca High School agriculture education teacher and FFA advisor, and I've been here for 34 years.
I wanted my program to be similar to the status of the FFA at Seneca High School. The FFA means so much to this community and everything that they do that our programs are very successful and you want to see those continue. Kent and Jeff have given so much to this place. 70 years of leadership in our Ag Department, 70 years of developing and making the FFA one of the best FFA state chapters in all of Illinois. They are prestigious. They are known throughout Illinois, even throughout the nation, with some of the things that they've done.
We knew there was a big transition coming up. We're a very complicated, maybe you'd say, department with everything going on with FFA activities and students projects and classroom teaching. We do have a 115-acre land lab, and to just turn the reins over to 2 people at one time wasn't going to be a simple thing to do.
My name is Kayleigh and I'm the Seneca High School agricultural teacher and FFA advisor.
My name is Mitch Miller. I'm one of the agriculture instructors and FFA advisors here at Seneca High School.
And so we were able to bring Mitch and Callie on and work with Jeff in their last year. And the transition, I think, has gone very well.
I think they knew coming in that it was going to be a busy with all the activities we had. And I explained to them very early that this is a program. We don't teach classes, we run a program. And sometimes that program takes you out of the classroom. And the time that you do out of the classroom is pretty extensive. And I think they've kind of realized that they're staying longer at night, they're getting here earlier in the morning, and they're buying into what's going on here.
We're busy. Mitch and I are working together great. We're learning a ton from Jeff. It's definitely going to be a lot to still grasp next year when it's just Mitch and I filling all those roles. And things are starting to pick up. It's going to get pretty busy this spring, so I get a little stressed looking at my calendar.
Positivity of the kids has been absolutely great. The competitive nature of what we've been doing so far this semester has been really good. It's been quite a transition. It's quite a bit different than the environment than where I was at in my previous position, but everything's been really positive, and the transition from my previous school to here has been going really well.
So I grew up right outside Grand Ridge in the country. We lived on a farm. We had animals that I raised and showed in 4-H and FFA, and my family also rodeoed my entire life. Both sides of my family crop farmed as well, so I was pretty involved in the agriculture industry growing up.
So growing up, my younger years are on the Miller farm in Chenal, Illinois, but I started to realize that I really liked helping people. A lot of that was through my own FFA experience, community service events that we do, or working with younger students.
And I was only a sophomore in high school, but I looked at my ag teacher and she was smiling, talking to everyone, and I thought, you know what? That'd be an awesome job. I've always wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't know if I wanted to be in math or history or English. I've always been involved in agriculture. Why don't I be her? That's perfect.
2 blocks that way is Pontiac High School, and when I went there as a freshman, it was kind of expected I was going to take ag classes, and it was then when I started to realize that this whole ag thing was so much bigger than what I've even seen with my own eyes. This isn't just hard work. This is a profession, and this is a lifestyle.
When I decided that I wanted to be a high school ag teacher, I did the math in my head. I knew when Jeff and Kent were retiring, and I made it my goal to be the next ag teacher here. So it's just every day that I come here. Sounds cheesy, but it's a dream come true that I get to walk into this building and teach at Seneca.
And the question was, how did we feel trying to fill a legacy of 30 plus years? It's Seneca, from the competitive aspect, has always been that program that I'm always trying to take down. Always that one that I'm trying to figure out how to be.
I think Mitch and Callie have big shoes to fill, and they know that. They knew that when they took the job because Jeff and Ken have built such an amazing program with great prestige. I'm excited to see their view and their vision of what the Seneca Agriculture Department and the FFA looks like into the future.
They're ready to go. Not much else I can do for them right now. They both have their strengths. Of course, they have their weaknesses to work on, and we talk about that. But I think we have a solid foundation here at Seneca High School. And today was a good example of it, because I tried to stay hands off of this and let Callie take care of it, let Mitch take care of it, and you can tell what a successful day it's been. It's been fabulous, actually, for the Fabulous Farm Adventure.
I don't see myself teaching anywhere else. I really don't. It seems like everybody else that we compete against or work with in ag education, it seems like they base a lot of their models off of what Seneca does. This has kind of been that program that a lot of people wish to work for in my profession.
I'm ready. I'm confident that we can take it on. It was great having him. There's no way we could have learned all of what happens here without him. And I definitely learned a lot about being a teacher, not just in the classroom, but everything that goes along with those characteristics of being a good teacher. I learned from him. So it's been a great year, and I'm really glad that we had him. But I'm also really excited to see what Mitch and I can do together as well.
I'm going to miss the kids the most. And how to say that, but the relationships that you build with them, and then you feel like you've done something for them. I'm going to miss my colleagues, and I'm going to miss FFA activities and other ag teachers throughout the section and throughout the county.
So today we were able to distribute 41 different baskets to families here in Peru. We were even able to distribute some of the food that was donated to some of the LaSalle families too. So these are some of our neediest families.
So far it is a constant learning experience. I think that I'm getting all of the hands-on experience that I was hoping for. Actually, last week I started taking a couple of groups for myself, and then today I'm actually covering for my supervisor while she's on vacation. So I'm Kayleigh Parham. I am the social work intern here at Peru Parkside this year. I go through Aurora University for my MSW at the end of the year. Honestly, I'm so glad that I ended up with Julie Miller as my supervisor. She has such a depth of knowledge and an understanding out of her position. She's about to retire. I think that she's given me so much support and a lot of perspective that if I would have been with a younger or a less experienced social worker, I might not have got that. Well, I actually started a little bit, like my first job was in youth programs, and the more that I dove deeper into it, I was like, I want to see, more community involvement and try to get closer to that. Did just like my general education, looked a little bit into like small business in the area to try to like invest in my community, and realized like I wanted more to work with the kids. I wanted to get back to that program space. I got into special education a little bit through para and was like, I like this, but I think I want to do something that is meeting the families like where they're at.
She worked very closely with our experienced social worker, Julie Miller. Just noticed a lot of growth, definitely throughout the year. Really together, kind of working with students and different needs that students have.
She was very involved in all the trainings we had this year. We had a little bit of another rough year with a loss of a student, and the 8th grade class had a very difficult year the year prior. It was instrumental that we had additional help here to work with Julie, and she did a great job.
Once you get into the classroom and you really see the impact that you can have on kids, I think that's something that really hooks you.
I should say something super like seeing the results and things like that, but I really loved going to like the junior high dance where we maybe should have had 2 dances, but we had 1 dance. So we had all of the students together. Our student who had passed away was there, where we were able to have a really good time and actually like connect with a couple people. And then after that, some of those same faces that I saw at the dance that like I had never seen before started like seeing in the hallway. Felt a little bit more like I belonged back at Parkside.
In our region, we've worked a lot to train all staff to be first responders, to be able to identify, signs, and there's things that teachers can work with and help students out today. And then there's things that we look to then refer to specialists when helping that student from all the difficulties that they may have to be successful. The work that we're doing in our area and through the state, there's a focus to make sure kids are okay, and then we can work on their academics.
You have to be a people person to be in so many fields, so many jobs, but in education, that's one of them. You have to reflect a lot and not always center on your generation, but center on the current generations coming up.
I think like day to day I feel prepared and then not prepared, and I'm sure that that'll continue. I'm working on like my curriculum mapping. I'm excited to, in the next couple of weeks, actually get in the buildings and start doing some trainings and seeing more faces. I'm Kayleigh Parham. This past year I was the social work intern at Peru Parkside, and I am the incoming school social worker at Putnam County.
The very last thing that we do here at Wallace on the very last day is when the kids, I'm gonna cry talking about this because I know I'm gonna cry that day. The kids get on the buses and they all kind of come to one side of the bus. We all stand out there and wave goodbye to them. So I know that day is gonna be tears for me.
My name is Peggy Miller, and I teach 5th grade language arts, social studies, and art. And this is my 33rd year of teaching. I think teaching, like once I set my sights on it, that was it. Yep, I was hooked. That was me. It's what I was meant to do, kind of thing.
No doubt being an educator is a tough job, And I think Peggy in her career span has seen so much change. You know, what it's like being a teacher now versus when she started, it's a completely different ballgame.
Way back when I first started, and it literally looked like a machine shed that I pulled up to. I struggled my first year, for sure. I'm so glad that I stuck it out. I think it's a very rewarding job in the end. There wasn't a lot of teachers there, so it was just a very tight-knit group, and always doing things together outside of school even, which I think helps give you that family feeling.
One of the great things I think we have here, and Peggy has been instrumental in establishing that over her career here, is that family component, on how everyone jives together so well and everyone truly cares for one another.
I get excited when it's time to come back, and it's nice here. It's a big deal getting our rooms ready for the year, and yeah, that's when I had my first breakdown actually, because right away I lost it. So it became a joke then, like, there's gonna be certain words you can't say to Peggy. Don't say retirement, don't say, what are you gonna miss?
The thing that stands out with Peggy is that she's the quiet constant. She's just always there. She's always there as a friend. She's always there as a teacher, as a colleague. She's always there for her students. She might not be, the center of attention, but you can always count on her.
People who have retired and then come back to substitute here, and they used to be in the lower grades and they think, I could never do the upper grades, and then they come in and substitute and realize all of the conversations that you can have with kids that you can't down in the lower grades. That was something I loved.
When Peggy came and said officially, I'm gonna sub next year, it was like, yes, that is amazing, because she's the type of person we could put her anywhere in the building, and we can trust she's going to do a wonderful job, and the kids are going to love her, and we're just so happy to still continue to have her part of the Wallace family, and we're just glad we're going to continue to see her, hopefully day after day.
Once you establish that you care, you develop that trust and respect, you're able to work and teach students. They're eager to learn, and I think that's what's Peggy is she's about just care.
It's been a good ride. It's been a great ride. I've worked with some of the best through the 33 years. And the people upstairs that I'm close to, were the warriors. I said, they're my tribe. They're my tribe. I love them dearly and will miss them more than they know. People are always, I think, a little bit surprised about how sad Ferko and I are about leaving, but if they could be here to work in a place like this, and I've said before, I think that family feeling between us comes through then in the classroom. The kids feel that, and there's nothing like it.